Well, I guess the Red Sox did technically make a roster move today. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and thank you very much for clicking on the second video of a Friday afternoon. Look, the Red Sox, they got swept by the Brewers. They're on a 5-game losing streak. They are plummeting down the standings in the AL and the AL East, and Red Sox fans came out of that series on an off day and said, please, for the love of God, do something, right? Change this roster just a little bit. Do something to get this team back on track. Well, they did do something. I just don't know how much of an impact it's really going to have on the Boston Red Sox, so we're going to go over all that, as well as every move that was made here. And we're going to start with who was added to this Red Sox team, and who was added was relief pitcher Nick Burdi. I don't mind this move one bit. It's for two different reasons. Well, actually, it's for three different reasons. The first reason is because it provides a fresh arm to a bullpen that could desperately use a fresh arm. They have been absolutely cooked lately when it comes simply to innings pitched per game. It's like, okay, it's crochet day. We're going to get a little bit of a breather here, right? We're going to have to close this thing out, but we'll most likely get a little bit of a breather here. Hey, it's an off day. We as the bullpen don't need to pitch today. And then outside of maybe a couple Bueller starts so far, they've been asked to get 4 innings worth of outs from this Red Sox team. And the amount of extra inning games on top of that, man, the Boston Red Sox bullpen has pitched a ton of innings specifically this month for this team. So just simply getting any sort of arm in there, even if it's just a body in there that is a little bit fresher than everyone else, hopefully takes the burden off of some of these other guys. I mean, if I'm Brendan Bernardino right now, I'm like, guys, I understand I'm doing whatever I can to help this team win, but my arm's about to fall off. This would be the 7th game in a row you're about to use me in, right? So either way, getting an arm in here just simply to have another arm in the bullpen, to have a fresh arm in the bullpen that hasn't been pitching the most innings in Major League Baseball during this month, always a positive thing. And that is absolutely my first positive takeaway about this roster move. The second thing that this does is it gives an opportunity to a minor league player who absolutely deserves his shot in Major League Baseball. Now, obviously, this isn't Nick Burdi's first appearance in Major League Baseball ever, or two, his first appearance on the Red Sox this season. We did get to see him for a very small stint earlier this year. I believe it was only a couple of weeks ago that we saw Nick Burdi in Major League Baseball. It was a very small appearance for him. It was 2 1/3 innings where he was 2 scoreless outings, but there was a pretty decent amount of contact off of him, 4 hits in there, only 1 strikeout. But in my opinion, because of those statistics isn't the reason I'm saying that this guy deserves a shot in Major League Baseball. My reasoning for this is because so far this year, even having come up to Major League Baseball and then being sent back down, he is absolutely dominating AAA hitters. Throughout this season so far, he has a 0.48 ERA in 18 2/3 innings. He's striking out 12.5 batters per 9 innings. That is a whole lot of swing and miss out of the bullpen for him. He's walking just 2.4 batters per 9 innings. Again, not a lot of walks out of him. He is yet to allow a single home run, and he has a whip of 0.804. That is legitimate domination. I told you guys. I wasn't exaggerating here. I know you guys say I like to exaggerate a little bit. This is not exaggeration, right? This dude is flat out dominating minor league baseball. And when a guy is flat out dominating minor league baseball, obviously, especially with where the Red Sox are at with holes on their team, you want to bring that guy up as soon as possible, right? Because any guy who's doing well in AAA that could potentially help this Major League Baseball team win more games than they are losing right now, which is 0. They are winning 0 games right now, right? Over the past week, they basically won 2 games. Getting anyone up here who could potentially help with that is absolutely worth it. Now, I think I'm starting to go on a tangent about someone else in minor league baseball who's currently dominating. We all know the name of, but either way, I do think Nick Burdi deserved this chance to sort of prove what he could be at the major league level. Now, ultimately, we've already talked about this before when Nick Burdi came up. We don't really know how this stuff is going to translate to the big leagues, right? We've seen sort of how his career progressed. It wasn't exactly exciting. He looked pretty good in a really small sample size with the Yankees last season, but we just simply don't know what he's going to end up looking like in Major League Baseball. I do think he deserved the opportunity, though, so I'm okay with taking this chance on Nick Burdi, especially because, to be honest with you, the middle innings for this Red Sox bullpen really couldn't get a whole lot worse, especially when it comes to big leverage situations in the middle of games, so I'm okay with this, and I think he deserved the shot. The third thing that this does, in my opinion, and the last thing we're going to go over with Nick Burdi here, is it makes the Red Sox more flexible. And this, to me, may be my favorite part of this move by the Boston Red Sox, right? We actually talked about this, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos ago when we talked about what needs to change for Boston. They needed to get more malleable in their bullpen and bring guys up who had options for minor league baseball, because what this does is something extremely important. It makes it easier to replace poor performing players, right? If you have a guy like Liam Hendriks, that we're going to talk about in just a second, spoiler alert there if you guys haven't seen it yet already, but if he's performing poorly, you got like basically 3 options, right? You essentially either ride it out and hope he gets better, place him on the IL, or send him to the Neverland, right? DFA him and see if anyone picks him up. Those are your 3 options with a guy like that. With a guy like Nick Burdi, if he's not doing super well in Major League Baseball, you could simply option him down to minor league baseball, one swift move, and you could get a guy up here like, hey, maybe Luis Guerrero figured something out in minor league baseball, or hey, maybe Zach Kelly figured something out in minor league baseball, or hey, maybe Cooper Criswell's needed for his specific role in the big league club right now. Let's get that guy up here, right? It allows you multiple options in one spot. And I think that's really important, especially for a Red Sox bullpen that, again, has been used an incredibly large amount this season. That's going to play a factor. Having these guys come up and down, rest them in AAA, have them go, once every 3 days or whatever to stay fresh, then bring them up to Major League Baseball and replace guys who have been going, 4 or 5 times a week, I think is an extremely important part of not only keeping the Red Sox bullpen healthy, but also bringing it some consistency, right? If you're consistently pumping this thing with fresh arms that are all kind of around the same level, you're hopefully going to end up with at a somewhat consistent basis with this team. And consistency right now is the key to the Red Sox getting back on track. So to me, that's the most important part of this. But like I kind of spoiled already, we got another part of this roster move we got to talk about. Because obviously to place Nick Burdi on this 26-man roster, someone needed to move or do something. And I brought up Liam Hendriks and said spoiler alert because obviously that's the dude that ended up off this team. No, they did not DFA Liam Hendriks. They actually placed him on the 15-day or going to place him on the 15-day IL. Now, it has not been officially announced what Liam Hendriks is going on to the IL for. The Red Sox have not made this move officially official just yet. When it becomes official, I'm going to put the official word in the comment section down below if it's any different than what we've heard already. But according to Chris Cotillo of Mass Live, just a couple of minutes ago, he reported that according to a source with knowledge of Liam Hendriks' medical history, I don't really know who that is. Did Chris Cotillo talk to this guy's doctor? I don't know, whatever. Either way, pretty reliable reporter, right? He's saying that Liam Hendriks has been dealing with multiple hernias, contending that the issues dated back to around May 8th when Hendriks went 2 innings for the first time. According to the source, the righty has been pitching through the issue in recent weeks, but it got to the point where an IL stint was most logical. Now, this kind of makes sense. We talked about, okay, the bullpen hasn't been incredibly consistent. Liam Hendriks, kind of the face of that, right? You look at his statistics this year, 6.59 ERA, not great in 13 2/3 innings. The FIP is a little bit lower, but still not good, 4.98. He has the highest walk rate of his career at 4.6 per 9. He has the lowest strikeout rate of his career at 7.9 per 9 since he was a Toronto Blue Jay all the way back in 2014, right? That is simply not great statistics out of a guy who you really were hoping he was going to have good statistics from. If you take a look all the way back at May 8th when he did go those 2 innings and past that, there were some good outings from him, but there were also a lot of issue outings as well. So maybe there is legitimate evidence to say that Liam Hendriks really is dealing with this injury. I know a lot of people are going to start to bring up the phantom IL because of some of the conversations that have been had about Liam Hendriks recently. I don't really think this is a phantom IL situation. You can clearly see at some points during his outings that he starts limping around on the mound. You can tell something was bothering him a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a legitimate issue. Sorry for the interruption, folks, but as I was recording, actually as I was editing this video specifically, it came out that the Red Sox are officially putting Liam Hendriks on the 15-day IL with what they're calling as right hip inflammation. Now, hernias could absolutely still be a big part of hip inflammation, so I think this is still partially an issue here, but I wanted to put the exact reasoning why in this video just so you guys had the information. Now, what's interesting is what is the timeline on this, right? A hernia is kind of a difficult thing to figure out timeline-wise. A lot of it has to do with, hey, how bad is it? Is it going to require surgery to fix? If it's going to require surgery, he may be done for a pretty long period of time. If it's not, it's mostly just rest, rehabilitation, a whole lot of ice, right? So it's just something that it depends on the severity of, and we don't have a ton of information on that yet. Again, at the end of the day, I do hope the best for Liam Hendriks. He hasn't been the best or even remotely close to the best reliever for the Red Sox, but this is a guy who loves playing, loves competing, loves performing, right? Having a season where you sign with a team rehabbing, can't get back that year, come back the next year, end up on the IL to start that, come back, can't really perform really well, and then now you're back on the IL. It has to be really difficult to deal with as a human being, so I do feel for Liam Hendriks. However, for the Red Sox as a team, right, specifically as a baseball team, I don't totally hate the idea of not having Liam Hendriks for a little bit. Again, like we talked about with Nick Burdi, it does make it a little bit more versatile. And again, when we talked about Liam Hendriks, you take out that sort of poor performer from your bullpen. Either way, I do want him to get healthy as soon as humanly possible and actually contribute meaningfully to this Red Sox team. Looking at this thing overall, as much as I would love to sit here and say that this was the move we've all been waiting for, right? This is going to turn this team around. It's not. It's just not. It's going to make the Red Sox hopefully a little bit better. At the bare minimum, it's going to make them a little bit more versatile, but it's not going to fix the problems the Red Sox have right now. I think we were all hoping for something a little bit bigger, whether that be a promotion or something to do with the staff or whatever, right? That didn't happen. So now the Red Sox have to rely on the guys who've been scuffling to pick themselves up and dust themselves off, and we'll see exactly what that looks like tonight. But before we get to that, let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the move? What do you think of Burdi coming up? What do you even think about Liam ending up on the IL? Let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.